the true story in Nat Love is quite remarkable, and I really loved your version of him in the film. Can you discuss your preparation and approach to the role, just because it is based off a real person?
I'll say approach just because preparation is the same for everybody, for any character I play. Um, but approach to that was something I found early on, is that he sees the world like a 10-year-old boy because of what happened to him when he was such a kid. That arrested development is something that really became clear to me, and he moved through the world from that hurt because that's what he had to protect. And if he moved too far away from it, he would make himself vulnerable in that way. And that vulnerability was so great that he had to all he could do is live a life in order to protect it. And ultimately, that protection would come in the redemption of, taking the life to give himself security of the person who violated him and his family so at such a young age.
And you did a Western before called Hostiles with Christian Bale. And now that you've gotten to do two very different takes on the genre, what do you find so interesting about this time period?
About the time period and about the genre, I mean, the time period it ebbs and flows a bit. It's about 100 years in which I believe a proper Western can be made. As soon as literally the Westerns kind of end, when the trains come, right? Once the trains come, the steam engines come, the Western falls off because that's no longer the world. You know what I mean? It's no longer the world as far as like our classical Western. But what I enjoy about it is that it is just man and nature, right? Human beings and nature. And because of that, you find that every character has to explore their own nature. That's what every Western is about, right? Your heroes and villains exploring their own nature without the cage of society, because out on the frontier, things haven't been established yet. And so everyone's fighting for position. And the only thing they can listen to, the only thing that gives them instructions, the only thing that can coach them on how to establish a civilization is what they feel on the inside. And so everyone's very, very feral and very, very natural in a way. And I enjoy that. I enjoy that wildness of the human spirit. It's not as cultivated as other times in other genres.
You had a great point about Nat kind of seeing the world as a 10-year-old due to the position he was put in. And then the film kind of shows this kind of cyclical trauma that is a really, powerful theme we see. Can you speak to just the situation he's put in and how it's kind of repeating itself?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there is a cycle. There's a cycle, and I think that's why our twist or whatever you can call it, but that's why our final scene, when it all goes down, is so troubling, because the cycle Nat is not aware of until that moment, which is why we have a scene, is because it is the hamartia of that moment that makes the whole film make sense in a way. You go, oh wow, oh no, that's incredible, and he doesn't know he's in a cycle, which to the Western genre idea, it leans itself more towards the Greek tragedies, that these people are dealing with fate and unknown sources, because there's no government, you see. So what is it that's pushing and pulling these people? Yes, their own moral compass, but also there's something greater, and they're in conversation with it, or running from it, or being driven by it, unbeknownst to them. And that really comes to a head in that final moment.